Hey, everybody, welcome to Love Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here live at BAL HQ in Richardson, Texas, with my friend Chris Barnett. What's going on, Chris? How you doing?
Good, Ben. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm blessed and honored to be here, dude. It is bumping over there, dude. We had to shut the door.
We've got our happy hour going today.
We got a party going.
We're all
They got
here.
Post Malone going.
We're all here doing the podcast. We should be out there doing the happy hour.
I know. We chose the wrong room. You got me in a conference room. It's a beautiful conference room, but I want to be over there. Shoot.
That's the place to be. Maybe we can head over there a little early.
Seriously, we might have to bridge the gap there a little bit. No, it's fun. I always love coming to this office, though. You guys have such an incredible office. I'm so fortunate. Hey, get in the comments, y'all. Let us know who you are, where you are out there. Check in with us. Everybody hit that like button. We're going to be talking about immigration. We're going to be talking about regulatory changes, all that really sexy stuff in global mobility that you're dying to hear about. Of course, we're gonna have some fun too. I'm probably gonna, talk to Chris a little bit about the Eagles too and see what's going on there. But yeah, I'm really fortunate to get to visit a lot of offices, with what we do, and we get to broadcast live from a lot of them. And this is one that is probably one of my favorite places to visit. It's just the amazing aesthetics that y'all have here. And you can people can kind of see it right now as they look around the room here, just kind of what's behind us. But just explain to people maybe that haven't had a chance to visit BAL, like what the aesthetics are all about, what story y'all are trying to tell here.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Jeremy and the rest of the team for putting this all together. But every room, every floor has a theme here. This room happens to be our history at BAL. It's only up on this wall until 2020, but as it says, the best is yet to come. But this office opened in 2018 as our center of excellence here, and Jeremy really decked it out with all of the history of BAL, where it founded, where it went, how it got to where, the number of cases we filed, and it's just, it's incredible. Every floor has a theme, so there's a European floor, there's an Asian floor, there's a South American floor.
Like every floor is like a different continent.
Yeah.
There's even Antarctic
there is,
floor.
With penguins.
With penguins.
Penguins on the walls, real live penguins. We've got a beach pit with beach balls and sand chairs in it. So you need to take a break, go to the sand, and if you're feeling a little hot, go up to the penguin floor.
Go to the penguin floor and chill. No, it's incredible here. We got people checking in. Get in the comments, y'all. I want to hear from you. Let me know who you are, where you're at there. We got people checking in. Sheila Benavides checking in. Hi, Chris. BAL rocks.
Hi, Sheila.
What's up, Sheila? See you out there.
Sheila's good people.
I like your headshot too, Sheila. That's looking good out there. Daisy Sinclair, love being here live at BAL. Great office. Daisy's got a new headshot too. Looking good there, Daisy. With the hand on the chin kind of look. I like that, Daisy.
Is it time to update headshots? Is that what
I hope not. I'm not getting any better looking. That's my problem. What about you, Chris? When was the last time you updated your headshot?
It's been a while, and we were talking about how the resolutions on these are getting better. I think let's pixelate it a little bit. We don't need that higher resolution.
Yeah, we need to face tune these things a little bit here. Yeah. Rachel Longo, hey, you got to visit the BAL office. Woohoo! What's up, Rachel? Good to see you. Yeah, this is cool. We got our NTRP people checking in here. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know what you're thinking about from a global mobility standpoint, from an immigration standpoint, and answer this question. Does your company do happy hours in the office, okay? I'm finding that I have one thing in common with BAL, and that's that we do happy hours in the office. I don't know about Tuesday, though. Is this a typical Tuesday thing for y'all?
It varies sometimes, but yeah, 3 p.m. on a Tuesday here after a holiday. Is
it always Tuesday, every Tuesday, or is it just like after the Martin Luther King holiday? Are we just toasting to MLK?
I think we do it monthly, and I think this one just happened to fall on a Tuesday, but it's just one of the things that we do to try to keep things light here.
I like it.
Decompress, go down, have fun. You can hear people having fun out there. They're playing ping pong. They're playing with the arcade games. They're watching
people
TV.
Are laughing. Are they allowed to laugh in a law firm?
We are allowed to laugh. Yeah. You got to laugh. Actually, it's encouraged. You have to laugh with what we do. Everything's so serious. Obviously, immigration is such a change every day.
Seriously.
You have to kind of just
if you didn't laugh, you cry,
fun.
right?
Exactly.
Isn't that what they say with these immigration policies? We're going to talk a little bit about that. Jillian says, hey, Chris, lovely to be here at BAL's offices for this episode. Yeah, for real. Shout out to Dane Browner, your new TA, head of TA over there as well. He's been awesome. We got to meet him as well. Rachel Longo says, I need a new headshot. Yo, preach, sister.
It's the season of headshots.
Yeah. Didn't BAL, I think BAL sponsored Headshots one year at ERC, if I remember correctly.
Oh, we may have. We like to get involved with the ERC.
Yeah. Rachel, yes, I've shared this with Chris as well. Yep. Look at this. I may check out the happy hour. Daisy's like, I'm out. I don't even need to be here anymore. My job is done. The show is live. We're good to go here. Yeah, get in the comments, y'all. Let us know about if your company does happy hours. Yeah, we're past due for a happy hour. This dry January has been killing our whole culture.
Are honestly, you doing the dry January?
No, no, but my company is.
Everybody
People
else
in the office are doing it, and it's really messing me up.
Because you can't be the only one.
Well, now I'm drinking by myself, or I mean, not drinking at all.
Right.
You know, and it's not really fun like that. But yeah, no, this is great. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about let's get on to business here. a little more Relo, a little less love. What's going on in the regulatory environment with immigration? What's happening out there? I'm seeing a lot in the news. Yeah. What's going on? What's cooking?
Yeah, so lots of changes. It's been an interesting year looking back at 2025, kind of how we got here, and looking forward at 2026. You know, the first big thing is we've got changes coming with the H-1B lottery reform. That's coming up here in just a little over a month. That'll be at the beginning of March. But, you know,
what does that mean to people, like in real terms?
So the real terms is previously you could just say, here are the people we want to sponsor in the H-1B lottery. And if they're selected, we'll file an H-1B for them.
Yeah.
Now it's a little more nuanced, and you need to prepare what you're going to be paying that person in advance, which sounds easy enough. Of course, you're paying them a salary already, but it impacts the way that they are registered. So if someone is being entered into the registration.
So before it's just one prevailing wage.
Well, not one prevailing wage. It was just either everyone had the same bite at the apple.
Okay.
So everybody was selected. Everybody had the chance to be selected. There was you did get a higher chance if you had a U.S. master's degree or higher. And now it's based on the rate at which your company pays you or what you pay your employees. And the higher that someone is paid, the higher prevailing wage they can meet, the more chances they'll have at that bite at the apple of getting selected. So with that change, it really throws a wrench into some people's plans. Companies really have to restructure the way that they're doing registration. And it's completely different. It's been talked about for a long time, but this is really the first year we're seeing it put into place.
So now what does that mean as far as from a planning standpoint?
It means decisions that you would have had to have made later on have to be made now in terms of what you expect to be paying someone in the future, if that's going to be changing. And then looking at what your workforce is. You used to be able to kind of rely on a certain percentage of selections in the H-1B lottery. We don't know what that's going to look like now. How many companies are changing what people are being paid to try to have more selections in the lottery? So it's a big question mark. We don't know what's going to come out of this in terms of how many people might be selected and what that means for companies and their future workforce.
Yeah, I'm really curious also about volume too. I mean, and Rachel, you're out there. Rachel always likes to get in the comments and everything, and get in the comments to let us know. But I mean, what is this going to do to the volume of H-1B applications out there?
Yeah, so it's been decreasing in prior years as the government has clamped down on those bad actors, so to say, so the ones who have been trying to game the system with multiple registrations. So we saw a big dip a couple years ago when they forced companies to register by individual passport, and then you get the same registration across several different companies. So there's no benefit to having multiple companies sponsor for you. It's interesting. You know, you bring up a good question, Ben. We'll see what happens with this latest change, but it could result in people not sponsoring if they think you're going to be at a level 1 wage, and maybe wait until it's a level 2, 3, 4 wage or higher. It goes company by company, and the benefit of kind of what we do is making custom solutions based on what matters for your company. What do you need to address to make sure you have the best strategy going forward?
Can you give me like an example, like what that might look like? You talk about custom solutions and stuff. Like, I mean, what is that? Like, can you give me an example, like what that is?
Yeah. So when the regulatory text came out, we did some analysis and looked at what that would mean for selection rates based on historically what companies have done. And where you may have had a 20% selection rate, which could be common, maybe you have a 40% selection rate because you actually have people who are that you're sponsoring who are typically being paid more than maybe some other companies that pay typically less. But it's a good chance to also look at other visa options. H-1B's been in the news a lot recently, not just for the cap lottery, but also for everybody else who's already on an H-1B. So this is a good chance just to look at what other options are available to you as a company for how you can sponsor your workforce.
You talk about selection rates, though. I mean, is it going to improve selection rates, though? I mean, with theoretically fewer folks applying?
I think definitely for those who have a higher wage level for the H-1B, would have a higher chance of being selected. So essentially, if you're at a wage level 4, you have 4 chances to be selected. If you're at wage level 1, you have 1 chance of being selected. So it's tough though, because obviously H-1Bs are the lottery is a lot for people who are coming out of college and maybe are in their early stages of their career. They may not have had that time to build up that salary that others
Right.
have
They
in
wouldn't
the
really
industry.
be, it wouldn't be, I won't say eligible, but I
Right.
mean, it wouldn't make sense to pay them that much.
Right. So the H-1B lottery is not just for new graduates. It's for people who have been here for a while, maybe in other statuses.
Mm-hmm.
So it changes things. You may have a higher chance of having people selected if they've had an established career, if you're otherwise not going to pay people who are entry level high salaries.
So is there going to, I mean, long term, I mean, is this going to create a gap in the talent pipeline where we don't have early career folks, those STEM careers, like early career STEM professionals, because they weren't able to meet that prevailing wage or didn't qualify? Or?
It's a good question. I think we kind of have to wait to see what happens with that. But we talk about regulatory changes that we're looking at. We know that the government is looking toward potentially restricting what current students can use to work on now. So some students on F1 have up to 36 months of work authorization. That's been a target for the administration previously, and they've published on their regulatory agenda for 2026 to potentially restrict that as well. So you could see a reduction from 36 months down to something lower. Even the 36 months has only been around for, I think, about 10 years or so. So it's fairly new itself.
So 36 months might go down to something like
17 months or 12 months or 24 months or
or
it may just look different in the way that you can qualify, or only certain degrees can qualify for the 36 months total now. Maybe it's less degrees that qualify. We don't have a lot of info on that yet, but a big space to watch for 2026.
Really interesting. Get in the comments, y'all. I'm really curious, how is the regulatory changes, the H-1B changes affecting you? H-1B lottery season is coming up, and now with more planning required per Chris's, what he just said. I'm really curious how this is affecting. Rachel's in the comments. Rachel, appreciate you. She says, I am looking forward to a couple of our managers that have not been selected for a few years. Perhaps due to their experience levels, they will get picked this year based on this change. Interesting perspective. So that's kind of a silver lining.
That's a great point too, and thanks for staying awake through all this regulatory talk, Rachel.
Appreciate you drinking your coffee late afternoon, Rachel.
No, that's a good point. I know we've seen that too. Individuals just don't get selected, and they just have bad luck with that, so to speak, if you want to call it luck.
Mm-hmm.
But if they've been there long enough and they've just had that steady salary increase, they could have a higher chance of being selected compared to someone that's new. And to them, maybe that's a more fair way of doing it.
Yeah, really interesting, Rachel. Yeah, get in here, Rachel. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. These are great inputs here. Francisco Solis, what's up, Francisco? Good to hear from you.
Hey, Francisco.
Love Francisco, man.
You got everybody in the comments today.
Look at this. He says, from the corporate perspective, these 2 schools of thought. 1, submit as many as we normally do and see if the selection rate increases. 2, be conservative and potentially only submit level 2 and above with a critical skill. A strategic approach is needed and must align to your organization. What are your thoughts on these 2 schools of thought?
Well said. I would say the one thing to keep in mind there is that's a great strategy based on what the system has been like previously. What if others are also doing the same? So if everybody's thinking, I'm only going to do level 2 and above,
Yeah, Francisco, are other people doing that too that you talk to?
Yeah.
Is everyone employing the same strategy? The problem is Francisco talks to everybody, so he's telling everybody his secrets. And so now everybody from HRP to Austin relocation professionals to NTRP, everybody's doing the Francisco strategy, man. So what happens if everybody's doing what Francisco's doing?
Yeah, well, we'll delete this later from this so that it's not
Don't
out
worry,
there.
nobody watches Francisco.
No, but if everybody's doing the same thing and nobody's submitting level 1 wages, then it adjusts. The selection process adjusts.
So it's like a kind of a curve.
Right. So then the people who are in the level 2 wages may have lower chance of being selected if everybody in the pool is level 2. Now, is that really going to happen? No, probably not. You're probably going to see still a number of level 1 because they still get a chance. And some companies say that's just what we can do right now, or that's what our strategy has been, sticking to it. Like Francisco says, if that's what you've done, stick to it, right? I mean, you don't want to change something that has worked for you in the past.
I mean, is this going to elevate the wages for H-1B workers? I mean, effectively, is this going to be effective in doing that? I mean, it seems like that's the goal of it, right? Or
that would definitely be a discussion internally at a company if they wanted to adjust to try to meet certain prevailing wage levels or increase to get a certain prevailing wage level. I don't know that that's necessarily what the goal is. I think the goal is probably more to give preference to those companies that pay more. It kind of sounds like it is, right? But I think it's more a result of there are people here who are being paid higher salaries. You should reward them with a higher chance of being selected. Yeah. Not necessarily that a company should raise that, but maybe there are plenty of people, like Rachel said, who have been here a while and have been doing it, have built families here, have established themselves in the U.S., and now they get the chance to stay.
Well, and I guess I probably phrased that wrong, but like I guess on the one hand, right, the administration would probably argue, hey, we're trying to protect American workers and the American workers' wages, right? And so we're trying to make sure that the talent that comes in here is getting paid at a high wage. And you could argue prevailing wages, that's what the whole point of prevailing wages were from Jump Street. But, some folks might say that, they weren't really prevailing, or whatever. And it was still, deflating wages to some extent. I don't know if that's true or not. But then the other side of it is too, these folks also pay more taxes, right? So they're coming in with higher wages and they pay more taxes, or maybe they're just a higher caliber of individual, a more senior individual. But it's really interesting. Some people say, and I'll just kind of tell you what, anecdotally people are saying when I get on these calls, in our industry, they're saying, well, people aren't going to do H-1Bs anymore.
Yeah.
They're just not going to do them.
Yeah.
Like that's the fatalist, narrative that I hear out there. I mean, is that true?
It could be for some companies. I think it's
Does
different.
this become like a have and have nots kind of thing?
Yeah, it's different.
H-1B become an elite talent strategy just for the fangs of the world?
Yeah, it can be. I mean, the way that some companies are deploying their strategies, they want to make sure they have their talent here, and if they need to relocate someone from abroad, it's going to be a little bit more expensive to do that now. Some companies are still doing that, but H-1B is not the only visa category that's available, especially for companies that have offices abroad. There are a lot of other options available. So I think you'll see a shift more into other visa categories.
I want to talk about that. I want to get to that. I'm going to get to Francisco's comment here, and then I want to talk about other visa categories. Yeah. H-1B is like, the headline, but I think the real story might be some of these other categories too. Francisco says so much star power in the house. What's up, Francisco? What kind of shoes are you wearing, buddy? Let me put me up on game. I just got my son his first pair of Jordans over the weekend. Francisco, nice. You'd be proud. Francisco says everyone is holding their breath to see what happens. Different organizations leverage new grad talent differently, which will dictate your strategy. If you have a big intern and new grad program, you will likely choose option 1.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, how do you even have a new grad and a new grad program? I mean, I guess maybe that's where the other visa types come in. I'll ask you that question. Richard Majewski checking in from rainy London town. Hope all is well. Hit that like button. Get in the comments. We are talking immigration policy and regulatory changes and strategies corporations can employ here. All right, we got a question.
Okay.
before we get to those
First
other
question.
visa types.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Get in the comments. Yeah, let's put Chris on the hot seat here. He's over here. He's mentally already at happy hour. Let's really pepper him with some tough
I'm
questions.
hearing
before
those tops being popped in there.
those
and
Shiner box start pouring over there. Sheila says, what are your thoughts on the 75 restricted countries?
Yeah, good question. I'm glad you asked that, Sheila, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about that.
Talk about it.
The 75 country restriction that was announced last week applies to what we call immigrant visas. And I think the confusion comes when people separate those two words, but it's actually a term that we use in immigration together. So immigrant visa is its own term. It's not the visa or immigrant as you imagine those two words differently. Immigrant visa is applying for a green card at a consulate outside the United States. But people hear immigrant visa restriction on 75 countries. They think, I can't apply for my green card. I can't apply for my H-1B visa if I travel. So it's really only for those that apply for a green card outside of the U.S. It does not impact those who are applying for green cards from within the United States,
So if
which
they're already
typically is
here,
what people would do.
If they're already here, it does not affect them.
Right. Now, there are strategy reasons to apply for a green card at a consulate outside the U.S., even if you're in the United States already. And that might change the way that those people apply. But most of the time, if you're here in the U.S., it doesn't make much sense to apply for a green card at a consulate because you'd have to leave to do that. So if you want to be in the U.S., if your company's sponsoring you for a green card, if you want to stay in the United States to finish that process, that announcement does not apply to you.
So who does this really affect? What's the real application here, especially to our industry?
Yeah, really people who are outside of the United States who may not be ready to come to the U.S. or maybe they don't want to take their chances in the H-1B lottery for various reasons. Obviously, it's a more expensive option to do that from outside of the United States right now with the introduction of the $100,000 fee. So if there are people outside the U.S. who think, I'll just wait for a green card, and then once that's approved in maybe a couple years' time, then I'll come to the United States. That may not be an option for people of those 75 countries. And the 75 countries are what the government says is a list of those who have used the welfare system of the United States. They're using that as kind of the basis for where they get that list from.
I see. I see. Are there certain countries on there that that stand out, maybe that you know you think are going to be particularly impactful?
So a lot of the lists that we're seeing now are overlapping a bit. You know, it's been the same countries that have been in the news that the U.S. has had either difficult ties with or we've just seen restrictions in the
75
past.
is a big list, though.
It is a big list, yeah. But at the same time, there are so many countries, and most of the time, the countries that have the highest number of immigrants coming to the United States are China, or India, right? A lot of Europeans, a lot of South Americans. So it's not necessarily just this is going to have a huge impact on people, and I think really the biggest takeaway is that if you're here in the U.S., even if you're from those countries, this probably doesn't apply to you.
Yeah. Really. Have they published the list yet? Because I know they were reporting it, but I didn't know if it was published yet.
There was a tweet by Department of State last week.
There was. Sharina, can you put the list in the comments on LinkedIn for us? Yeah.
And then
put
a few
link
of
to
the
list,
media outlets.
Yeah. I think I was talking to somebody last week, and they were saying they thought maybe Brazil was on the list.
I think Brazil.
I'm trying to think about countries that might kind of be more impactful.
Yeah.
Because there's certain countries that you're like, I don't know if this really impacts our industry as much. Brazil was one where, okay, maybe, and the point, so I was talking to a smaller RMC, and he was concerned. He was concerned about this. And he was like, it's not going to necessarily affect the worker as much as the family of the worker. And then, of course, it affects the family, then it affects the worker. That's where his concern was. I mean, is that a valid perspective, or is that not? Is he
could be
misunderstanding it
for similar reasons where families might be separated for whatever reasons for a period of time? If someone's in the U.S. On a status and they're applying for their green card or have already applied for a green card, and they've started a family, or their family has just been outside the U.S., that family may need to apply at the consulate. There may be, you can still file, you can still submit all your documents, you can still have your interview. It's just not going to be approved anytime soon because it's on hold. But so yeah, the family reunification part is difficult. I will say though that if someone in that family, probably most likely the spouse, could have their own separate status sponsored for them, like an H-1B or an F-1 or something else, they may be able to come into the U.S. that way. Same for the kids if they want to come in for F1 for school. So there are other ways to do it. It's not just, hey, this affects me, I can't come to the U.S. What other options do you have? Don't just say, I can't do it. Let's see what else is available for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that, right? So we kind of teased this a little bit before, but talking about other visa types, right? So obviously H-1B is challenged right now, but what are some other strategies that are viable for people?
Yeah.
Or for companies?
The L1 is one of my favorite visas. The L1 is what we call the intracompany transferee status. So that's moving someone who currently works for your company abroad to the U.S. So if they work for Glomo outside of the United States in London, you can, and have been there for at least a year, you can move them to the U.S. to work for Glomo here. So a lot of companies, I mean, that's been around forever. Companies have known about that. A lot of smart companies utilize that. But that may impact.
Does it matter what visa they're on there?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah. It's just for whatever you can qualify for to come to the U.S. I mean, you have to have, like, obviously worked there lawfully. Otherwise, you might run into some issues with trying to document your employment. But yeah, if they're working abroad for at least a year, they can potentially qualify for the L1. And some companies are looking to do that where, again, going back to what Francisco says, if you've got a big new hire population or new grad population rather, you may not be able to have them in an H-1B. Maybe their F-1 is going to be restricted if that goes through this year. Maybe your plan is to then create a pipeline to funnel someone to an office outside the U.S. for a period of time,
right, and
then eventually bring them back on an L1. So there are different ways to do this. It's getting creative, which kind of keeps us going every day, and how we come up with different solutions.
Well, I mean, that's interesting, right? And we were kind of talking about this before as we were talking to some of our friends in Canada, earlier today. And, Carney, the prime minister there is, did a big press release or conference, I think it was, where he was aggressively advertising, for H-1Bs, right? And for saying, hey, come to Canada, we'll embrace you, right? Bring all this talent and all these, great minds. It kind of reminds me of what, what Canada did a few years ago, right? During, I think, I don't know what year it was actually, but there was a year or two where Canada eclipsed the U.S. as the #1 inbound country. Actually, during our Love Relo 500, the speaker talked about that. And anyway, so we were talking about that. We're like, well, I wonder if countries are going to, bring talent to Canada, bring them there for a year or two, and then bring them to the U.S. Actually, Daisy was mentioning this, earlier. Is that something they can do through an L1 process? Could they bring them to Canada under one visa type, and then bring them over to the U.S.?
Definitely. So if you have an entity in Canada, you can employ them in Canada and then eventually relocate them back. So a lot of companies look at that. Obviously, you want to be kind of respectful to both entities. You don't want to send someone there just for a year and say, okay, now we're plucking them back. So maybe work out an agreement, and maybe there's a way to say they're going to be there for 2 or 3 years, increase their knowledge level, increase anything else, come over on an L1, and then they could eventually move to an H-1B. Maybe they've improve their salary enough to get to a point where they're going to be at a higher wage level. So it's this long game you got to play to see, like we're not just looking a year in the future, you shouldn't be either. Like, what's it look like 10 years from now when you still want to employ this person?
Well, in some ways, while this is a giant pain in the butt for us, right? And, whatever, we may think what we want to think about these policies, in some ways, I mean, it really makes global mobility so important, so strategically important, because we have to figure out this whole chess game, right? And how to move these pieces around and keep the organization moving forward and the strategy moving forward, right? And so it's not as straightforward as it was before. It's really interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's one of the reasons why I got into immigration in the first place. My grandparents were not from this country.
Okay.
They came from Germany, Italy, and Ireland, respectively.
Yeah.
So I've just loved the immigrant journey. I've loved the relocation aspect of it. Love and Relo, shout out, like and
See,
subscribe.
I'm telling you, I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah.
that's what it's about.
But that's how I got into it. When I came out of law school about 11 years ago, I think it is now. So yeah, it's trying to find creative solutions. You're right. There is still a demand for global mobility. There always will be. It's just how can you do it within the boundaries of compliance.
Yeah.
And making sure that you have someone who's keeping you honest with the latest updates, because it's changing daily, weekly at this point.
It's crazy how much it's changing. It's just wild. Let me ask you, when your grandparents, immigrated to the States, what was their process like?
Super easy.
Super easy?
Super easy, yeah.
What was it like?
My grandmother from Ireland came over on a boat when she was 13.
Was it like the Ellis Island thing, or
Yeah, through Ellis. I don't know if it was through Ellis Island, but certainly
Port
one of
New
those
York
ports.
or whatever, yeah.
I've got her naturalization certificate. I've got her passport, and the timing between when she came and when she got that was like very short.
It was like walk here to walk there.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like
Right.
that?
She like sneezed. They said bless you, and then handed her.
We're gonna
passport.
we're gonna look under your armpits and change your last name and keep it moving.
Yeah, but those are the people who founded the country that we have today. So
It's incredible.
I love the stories, and I'm not the only one. I work with a very diverse team.
Yeah.
A lot of people here who speak different languages. I love it. I love that aspect of Glomo.
Yeah, that's awesome. Francisco checking in here. Francisco says immigration has been a big player on talent strategy for organizations. This is much more visible with the current environment. Think of the end at the beginning.
Yep.
Interesting. Francisco, you got any more strategies for us? Anything else you're doing? I mean, you talk about the L1. Anything you're doing to get around some of these challenges and keep talent flowing? I would say global mobility is kind of, if talent is the lifeblood of an organization, global mobility is the heart that pumps it.
Write that down.
What do you think about that?
I love that.
Try
I love
that one
that.
out. I'm trying to socialize that one. All right, so you talk about other visa types and other strategies. You talked about the L1. I know that's your favorite. Any other ideas or strategies you have out there?
Yeah, so there are country-specific options. More difficult to strategize around that, but if you have someone or you want to develop a recruiting pipeline out of a certain country, so Canadians, Mexicans, they have the TN option. Australians have the E3. Chileans, Singaporeans have the H1B1. So there are a lot of other options that are available for people. And then, of course, you have F1, which is for students. Some people, when the economic downturn is happening, go back to school. If you're doing that, that might be an opportunity to get into the United States or take some time off, take a break from the process, enroll in an F1, get a new degree, get a higher salary offer when you come out, and then maybe try your hand at the H-1B lottery at that point, if that's an option for you. So, yeah, tons of options. There's also some options for companies who maybe they don't need someone to be here all the time, but they want to move. They want to have people visit from an entity outside of the United States. So if they're coming from London, if they're coming from Germany or Italy or something, and they just need, come here for a couple weeks, do some trainings or meet with the team and go back, there are still options to do that. So it's not just restrictive of you have to have a visa to come here. It has to be a certain type of visa. There are still options for business visitors. We did see a lot of restrictions on that with the new administration, but that doesn't mean you can't use it. Again, going back to, you just have to make sure that you're following compliance with that.
So are you seeing anybody that's like getting denied like entry or anything like that due to any kind of just any kind of changes in the way that they administer policy or restrictions?
So entry to the U.S. is never guaranteed, even for someone who has all of their ducks in a row and has worked with the attorney on that and might be a high up leader in their company. It's never guaranteed. So you're always going to see some challenges there. And it's changed a bit. You can just see it in the news. There's been a lot of changes in the way that people are thinking about coming to the U.S. I think we've seen net migration decrease this year or in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something that's different.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny. I went to get in the comments, y'all. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this. I was at a regional, gosh, this was a couple of years ago, and they were really nerding out on the immigration stuff, getting real in the weeds, and they were talking about different border crossings and like what time of day they would go and like which guard or which spot they would go to and what line they would get in, and like it was wild.
Yeah.
This might have been maybe I was in Detroit, because they have that Windsor crossing right there or something,
Yeah.
and they were just getting really into it and like very granular. I was like, wow, okay, it's
Yeah.
like that, because you have this thought from the outside looking in, and I'm definitely an outsider like this, but you have this thought that it's administered, the same way across the board, and one of the biggest eye openers for me was how subjective some of this stuff is based on who's reviewing the paperwork.
Yeah. Well, you see that a lot with, maybe newer border crossing guards who are not as familiar with it, and they make a mistake. So there can be training errors sometimes, and there are opportunities to flag that if you feel that you were improperly rejected. We do see that sometimes. For the time of day, I've seen some people who have thought that they could, cross in the middle of the night. I'm thinking like you're getting the B team at that point, not the people who know about immigration.
Yeah.
So that's just common sense. Don't cross in the middle of the night. Go during business hours. Try to make an appointment ahead of time if you need to. Yeah, but other than that, you're right. It should be consistent across all the different ports. It's not always consistent, but we've got our little tips and tricks, and we know kind of how best to prepare an application so that it fits as many people as possible while still being customized to you and what you need to cross the border seamlessly.
Yeah, it's so funny. It reminds me of a story. I don't know if I should tell this story, but hey, why not? Right, here we go. Yeah, so I'm trying to go to Windsor. I'm in Detroit. I'm trying to go to Windsor, right, and just go see what it's about. I've never been over there, and I go with a buddy, right, a buddy from work, right, and we're just going over to have a beer and just kind of see what Canada's like, And so we take the bus over, and we get to the other side through the bridge underground. We get to the other side, and you go into the customs border office right on the Canadian side, and they pull us aside. And I'm like, okay. And so we're sitting in the I see you raised an eyebrow already, we're sitting in the lobby, and they pull my friend into this room. And they had asked him, like, had he ever been convicted of a felony or something? He said no. And they pull him in a room, and apparently I find out later he goes in this room, and the door locks behind him, and he's by himself in this room. And then on the other side of the glass is like the officer, and they're like, hey, you said that you'd never been convicted of a crime. What's this, what's this in Illinois, when you were, 16 years old or something like this, And he's like, that's supposed to be, expunged or something from my record. And apparently he was kiting checks or something. He was 16 years old or something. And I'm like, it was just bizarre, because I'm like, is this guy coming out of there? Like, I didn't even know where he went. And I'm sitting in the lobby, and then he comes out like 45 minutes later. And I'm like, dude, what happened? We're just supposed to be getting a beer across the river right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently they got access to everything, huh?
Yeah, the records run deep with immigration, and don't ever lie to an officer,
lie to them,
obviously. And even if you think something might be expunged, good tip in immigration, you still likely need to disclose it during immigration. Yeah.
Good.
Same with on petitions too. We see that sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Get in the comments, y'all. I'd love to hear your thoughts on there. Do you have any crazy immigration stories? This would be the time to share them. Change the name to protect the guilty. Rachel Longo says, my mother-in-law came over from Italy on a boat at Ellis Island. The stories, our history. Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Isn't it funny how like it used to be so easy, and now it's like you need
different.
a lawyer.
It's different.
You can't just show up on a boat like, hey, what's going on? Like a boat with no job. Like, hey, I'm just gonna figure it out.
Right. Different days.
Can't just do it. Sheila says, shout out to BAL, one of NTRP's top sponsors, and Chris on the board of directors.
That's right. This year. Yeah. Thanks, Sheila. We love NTRP.
Yeah. What's going on? What do we got to look forward to on the board this year, huh, Chris? I didn't realize I was talking to a boardie over here.
Yeah, I can sign something for you later if you want.
Appreciate the autographs.
Yeah. We got a lot of great events coming up soon. We got an event coming up on, I think it's February 12th. Sheila can check me on that.
Love the Journey.
Love the Journey. Yeah. So that's a.
Might have to make a Love and Relo appearance for that.
Yeah, and we're also obviously we're doing the Lone Star Conference too.
Yes.
You're a part of that, Ben.
Yes.
There's a lot of great stuff coming out of the DFW area this year.
I got a hot take for you.
Okay.
Dallas is the epicenter of the global mobility, the U.S. global mobility community in 2026.
Okay.
The most important city in global mobility in 2026, Dallas, Texas.
I think you're onto something.
That's my hot
there.
take.
We've seen the companies moving their headquarters here over the past few years.
You know what? 20 years ago, Danbury, Connecticut was where all the RMCs were headquartered. It was right outside New York City, whatever. Fine. You know, you look at San Francisco 10 years ago with all the amazing, tech companies and everything, but then they, they've fallen on hard times a little bit, I think middle America, Texas, you got oil and gas, you've got, some IT companies, you've got logistics companies, you got a lot of services organizations here. You've got all these, what's that, Daisy? A lot of large corporate headquarters coming in. I mean,
moving and expanding. AT&T just moved from Dallas to Plano.
Look at that.
Where they're about to move.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So I think this is it. I mean, Glomo moved their headquarters here.
Okay.
You got BAL's headquarters here.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you need, really?
It's the place to be.
It's the place to be.
I live in McKinney. I'm excited about McKinney's expansion. We've got
McKinney's.
some companies moving there too.
It really, yeah.
I love McKinney.
Yeah, how long you been in McKinney for?
I've been in McKinney for about 6 years.
Okay.
We moved right when COVID was happening. I think we closed on our house like March 16th, 2020, something like that. And I remember we didn't have any movers, so we moved from an apartment in Dallas. And I was nervous about driving this big enterprise truck that we rented.
Yep.
And there was nobody on the highways. So I was like, I don't know. I'm like,
because it was like COVID or
doing
something?
the Kramer, like wide
Weaving?
lanes here. Yeah, weaving. There's nobody out there.
Did you lose JFK's golf clubs out the back of out the back of the truck? Yeah.
No, it was great. And we moved from an apartment to a house. In COVID, so the space was just, we didn't know what to do with ourselves.
I bet you got a ton of equity in that place right now.
It was a good time to get in. It was a good time to get in.
Sheesh.
I'd like to say it was planned, but
Yeah, really.
Nobody saw that pandemic coming.
I was talking to my cousins. They moved, about the same time, and they're in Plano, and they they got they got a house. They were telling me for so $400,000 or whatever it is, probably $700,000 house now, and they're locked in at 2.99% interest rates.
Yeah,
and it's
they're never
crazy.
Leaving.
No, they're not leaving,
and
that's why the relocation market has been so kind of depressed the last few years. It's just been the worst housing market from a transaction standpoint that we've seen. I was talking to an RMC president last year, and they're like, "This is the worst housing market from a transaction volume standpoint that we've seen, according to this guy, in ever maybe." I don't know if you've seen that or not,
better,
Daisy, but
right. I mean, we saw a big spike in. I think mortgage applications when the rate dipped below 6% for a bit.
The rate is now at a 3-year
right?
low, is what I read last week.
It's great.
And I think I think the average is still like 6.03, but as soon as the average dips below 5, and I think it is below 5 for 2 years for certain qualified buyers, that's a big watermark for some people.
Yeah. Hopefully we get there.
And I think it's going to really free things up a lot here.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen though is housing prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
Because now demand's going to go up. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Right. So that's
DFW is only growing. So to your point, it's the hub.
Yeah, but so many people, have relocated. I just killed my light. So many people have relocated here from other parts of the world, right? And I do worry a little bit about. Oh, Shireen's gonna hook me up. I do worry a little bit about, if is changing immigration policy gonna hurt this market? Hey, Sharon, oh, you got it. Look at this. Watch out. There you
On
go.
the fly
Hey,
here.
on the
Wow.
fly. Look at Sharina.
Just did that real fast.
Got this great producer over here, Johnny on the spot.
You guys are professional here, man.
We are something. Look at that. Thank you, Sharina. Yeah, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I think this year. What's your prediction this year, though? I mean, how are you feeling about this year, Chris? A lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. I think from an immigration perspective, people were sort of waiting to see what was going to happen in the first year in administration. I think we're 1 year in today into the administration. So,
Yeah.
It's now like we understand there are limitations and there are restrictions and there's compliance to look at. But as long as you're doing all of that, there are ways to still keep your program moving. So you might see some more shifts going on, especially if people can move. They might be requesting that themselves. Like if they can now get a good mortgage somewhere, maybe they are the ones who are requesting a move. So maybe we'll see some changes happening.
Yeah, some self-directed relocations.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting to see. Chris, we've got a little segment we like to do.
Okay.
At the end of the show. You seem like a fun guy. You wanna have some fun?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right, let's play a little.
Have we not been having fun to this point?
No. I mean, no.
Okay.
Listen, immigration, I love it as much as the next guy. Okay.
Yeah. Is everyone still awake in the comments too?
Yeah, hey, everybody, wake up. This is the good part. Okay, guys. Hey. It's like
you guys can pay attention now.
It's like when we get there, I gotta wake my son up in the back seat. He's like sleeping. Like, hey, we're at the arcade. All right, hey, let's have some fun here. A little game called Overrated, Underrated.
Okay.
All right. Do you know how to play the game, Chris?
I do. Yes.
You do.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to give me a quick recap?
I'll give you a quick recap. Okay. There's only 2 rules. All right.
Okay.
The first, I will give you a topic, and you will tell me if it is either overrated or underrated.
Okay. Easy.
I will tell you if you're correct.
Okay.
There's the twist. All right, let's get into it. Oh, and by the way, if you're playing along at home, get in the comments. Let Chris know if he's right. I may take that into consideration. All right, overrated, underrated. First one up, Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
Jera.
Jerry Jones is underrated. So
Jerry Jones is underrated.
Disclaimer: I'm an Eagles fan, so I've long loved Jerry Jones these past few years and what he's doing. The Eagles fan base just loves Jerry Jones. He is. Give that man all the power. Let him control everything in the Cowboys organization. He can do no wrong. Love Jerry. Underrated, 100%.
Man, this is one of those things like in school where you have to do the math problem, but you got to show the work.
Yeah.
You got to the right answer, but your rationale was flawed. Deeply flawed.
Okay.
Okay. Jerry's underrated.
Okay.
People give him a lot of crap for not winning the championship in
what decade are we going back to? Yeah.
33 years. 1993. Yeah, I don't know. 33, 32, whatever. 31 years. Mm-hmm. But Jerry's built the most valuable sports franchise in the world. I mean, since when does that not count for something?
Since people count Super Bowls.
Oh, gosh.
Which is
only
year.
Only people that have them count those, by the way.
That's true.
Okay, I feel like you're a bit spoiled. I feel like you take an Eagles fan from like 10 years ago, and he's not counting Super Bowls. He's counting snowballs at Santa Claus.
Exactly. And
okay, he's counting He's counting how many arraignments do I have in the basement.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hey, that's another claim to fame.
Yeah.
First stadium to have a court in the bottom of the stadium.
Such a lawyer factoid, by the way.
The old vet.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got people chiming in here. Francisco says overrated. Whatever, Francisco. Rachel's laughing. This is great. Jerry's created tremendous value. He bought this club in what was it, 79 or something like that. And Cherie's going to fact check me. Look at this. This girl's going to fact check me. See if I'm right. He bought it in 79. We're going with it. And 1989, same shit. Anyway, and what he's done with it from a value standpoint has been incredible. Turned around. He started winning Super Bowls 3 years later. The guy was a wildcatter. Went from drilling wells to owning football teams. I mean, it's pretty versatile. He started singing. He started singing in his dad's supermarket.
Jerry Jones was
in
a singer?
Arkansas.
I
Yeah,
did not know
well, he
that.
wasn't a singer. He was a child whose
okay.
dad owned a supermarket. And
I see.
he needed to put on like some sort of an act to get people in there.
Okay.
I don't know. He does what it takes. He understands showmanship.
Yeah. I think he gets in his own way though these
yeah.
days. Just But again, I love him for that.
Yeah. Well, you love the self-destructive nature of.
He always gets a standing ovation in the Eagles Stadium every time he goes.
Yeah.
The fans love him there.
I like Jerry. I think Jerry gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Jerry is underrated. You are correct. You are correct. Jerry's underrated. We agree on that. I can't believe I agreed with an Eagles fan. This is terrible. It's disgusting. It's a low.
There are literally dozens of us in Texas.
There's a lot of Eagles fans. I have
are
more
a few
Eagles
here.
fans that watch this show.
Really?
And they're all, you know what the irony too is? They're all nice people.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because Eagles fans are terrible people.
In Philly.
In Philly, is that
In
what it
Philly,
is?
Yes. Although, I mean, I know
So it's like
plenty
a
of
mob
who aren't, but-
mentality.
Yeah,
As soon as you're
yeah,
outside
in
the mob,
Philly.
like you're decent human
But I think
beings.
it's also, I mean, like the Eagles fans are just passionate about not the Cowboys fans aren't, but like they're passionate about the team. So if we're doing bad, like they're gonna let you hear it.
yeah.
There are some,
And they're very
bads.
self-critical.
There are some, yes.
They hate their own team too. They hate
Correct.
everyone else, but they also hate themselves. I think that's where the self-hate actually bleeds over. No, they're way more passionate than Cowboys fans. And this is actually one of the things I hate about Cowboys fans. Is I go to the game and they're like sitting down. It's like I feel like I'm
on
at
their
Prestonwood
phone.
Baptist Church for the Christmas musical. I don't understand I feel like I'm in the wrong place. Is that why the free tickets? But everyone else is paying
corporate tickets?
$500 a seat, and they're just like hanging out, just like chilling
Yeah. On their phones.
on their
taking
phones.
selfies. Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
I don't understand, and they don't cheer.
I would agree with that too.
And like I'm like standing up. I'm like
Yeah.
heckling like like I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm there, and they're like. They're terrible. But Dallas fans are bad in every sport. I go to Mavs games,
Yeah.
FC
Rangers.
Dallas games. I go to every sport.
Yeah.
Even, I don't know.
Same.
They tell me to calm down.
I love going to the Stars games, but I've seen the same.
Are they-
thing
are they-
there.
are they- how
I've
are
seen,
they at Stars
I've seen a bit of a better, more passionate fan base, especially when they were getting good in the last few
Yeah.
years. Yeah, Stars games are fun. I love going to Stars games.
Hockey games are great.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Next one up: overrated, underrated celebrity podcasts.
Overrated. Overrated. Just because you're famous for something doesn't mean you have an opinion that people care about.
I feel like personally attacked right now.
What's your celebrity podcast? What do you like?
I guess not Love Relo. I don't.
Oh, you thought you
I
were
don't-
the celebrity.
You thought you were a
You thought you were the
celebrity.
celebrity, and I got it. I got it now. He thought he was the
He's
celebrity.
like, just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you need to talk for an hour.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite celebrity podcast.
Do people
like watching
subscribe to this podcast?
I like
that you
watching.
have?
No, very few. I like not that are not related to me. I think. I think very few. I like the clips. I like watching clips of them.
Yeah, like funny clips.
Yeah, like give
Yeah.
me like a 30-second clip of it or
Yeah,
something.
fair. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
But that to me is like an old school interview. Like an interview clip. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Just like being on Conan or something like
Yeah,
that, and give me a
right.
teaser,
Right.
a trailer.
Right.
Sharina, do you watch celebrity or listen to celebrity podcasts? I feel like it's a new generation thing. Which ones do you listen to?
Okay, I do like.
Oh,
New
that
Heights.
is good. See,
I do like New Heights.
don't you hate when you like rag on like the kids these days and then they're like actually right about
That's
something?
true. Yeah, I do like New Heights. I mean, Jason Kelsey, obviously, Eagle.
He's really good.
He's
They're
good.
really good together too. The brother thing. Football fan? That's interesting. So she's not even a football fan.
Are you
She
a
likes
Taylor
the
Swift
Jason
fan?
Kelsey.
Taylor,
Oh
she's
my
a Swiftie.
gosh.
Swifty. Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. But it's crazy that you'll like watch her husband's podcast. Her husband and his brother,
Yeah.
which is it's kind of bro-y podcast. Like they
It
just
is.
bro out a
It
little bit.
is. Yeah.
Interesting.
I like that. Yeah. No, but you're right though. Sometimes it's nice just to see the little clip and you get the funny clip and then you move on. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So celebrity. So actually, so you do like them? So it sounds like
yeah, I guess.
Which- that you're like, yo, this should never have made it.
Oh man, I don't know if I don't
Like,
know.
where's
if
your
I
vitriol?
think I just
coming from?
avoid them. I don't know if I know of one that off the top. I mean, I even forgot about the New Heights podcast.
That's
but
actually
I
a
have
solid
heard that
one.
one sometimes. No, I don't.
I like the athlete ones. I do like the athlete ones.
Yeah, I mean, I'll listen to people if there's a good clip. Like Tom Brady's been on a lot of stuff recently.
Mhm.
I lived in Boston for 10 years. when the Patriots were winning every year.
Yeah.
I don't like Tom Brady from that perspective, but like the guy's a champion. Like I'd love to listen to him talk. So he's got some good
stories
clips
are great.
sometimes. The stories are fantastic. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's the ultimate champion. So the ultimate competitor.
I like all these like hood ones. I like all these like drink champs and like
Well, I don't even know
all
that.
the smoke and like
Are these from celebrities?
yeah, they're like basketball or rappers
okay.
or like all these like crazy like yeah, because the stories again going back to the stories like I like crazy stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
So I feel like
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like people dog celebrities a lot too.
Yeah.
Because we do get kind of sick of people that are famous for being famous, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't
If
know.
you've got a good story, I think that can make a good podcast. But if you think that people just want to hear your opinion on everything, just because you got an opinion, I think that's where I draw the line.
Yeah. Yeah, like Jillian on our team, she's a big fan of some of these what are those Barstool ones? I think what is it, like Chicks in the Office
Chicks
or something
in the Office,
like that?
yeah.
Yeah, so she likes some of those.
Yeah.
I don't know if those qualify or not, but anyway. Celebrity podcast, overrated. Oh, I don't know. I think we've disproved this theory a little bit.
But would you say they're underrated?
I kind of feel like they are because everybody, if you ask like people on the street, celebrity podcast, overrated, underrated, people are going to say overrated. But then we just came up with reasons why they're underrated. So I think that means that I think people dog them more than.
I think they're just rated.
Oh, you can't be properly rated. Daisy, it's a family show. Where are we going with this? I don't know. I'm going underrated. I can't believe I'm saying it. I'm going underrated with this one. Oh, man, we're 1 for 1 here. Let's go. Let's keep it moving here. Overrated, underrated. Next one up, libraries. Hot take here.
Libraries. Underrated. Underrated libraries.
I feel like you spent a lot of time in the library.
Free
Chris.
books. I do like researching. So it's funny enough. We did a Valentine's show.
I feel like something you would say on an interview, and you already have the job. So like you don't have to you don't got to turn up for me. Jeremy's not.
We
watching.
did. We did. So we do all hands. You saw the stage where we have it here in the Dallas office. So we do all hands with all of our offices every month. And then we did a February one last year, which was for couples in the office. So my wife actually works at BAL too.
I didn't know that.
And there's a few couples here.
Okay.
And so we got on a show, and anyway, it turns out my wife and I don't really know each other that well because
was it like one of those newlywed shows,
yeah,
like where you're like, how
we
well
played
do
the
you know?
newlywed game. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I forget what the question was, but it was something like, "What's my favorite pastime?" I don't remember what I wrote. It was either like running or like watching soccer or something, and she put researching. Like researching.
Researching.
And I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I actually do kind of like researching. So, but I wouldn't put it as my favorite.
But like you sit there with like a voluminous text or something.
No, it's more like if we're going to go somewhere, I like
microfiche.
I like to look into microfiche. I like to look into like everything. Like I like to be prepared, right? But I like libraries for the free versions, the free access,
free preparation.
I love the libraries that will like give you breakdowns of like you've saved hundreds of dollars over whatever by renting this number of books. Plus the Frisco library, shout out for my kids.
Oh, yeah.
They have phenomenal stuff for the kids there, and they do story time, and my kids love it.
Frisco Library, I think that's the one that has the black box theater and has the video game museum and the dinosaur.
Huge.
I haven't been inside the dinosaur one. That's
they have
where
a
I did
little
my
play
TED Talk.
place too, and
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I got to go inside that one. Rachel says, researching, I can't imagine that.
Yeah, right?
That's funny.
Being an
well, you
attorney
got the
and all.
right job, dude,
Yeah,
if you like
true.
researching.
I get lost in research sometimes. Don't we all?
But I mean, like, so are you talking about like scrolling the Google and like going deep like that into it?
Yeah.
Or you like pull out a book?
No. I mean, I'll go to the library for books sometimes, but that's just to rent something fun and not.
Yeah.
I like the text. I like the smell of paper. You know, you got to disconnect sometimes.
You in there like,
yeah.
like with that
vintage
first
book
edition, like just
yeah.
Nice.
No, I love looking at, like if we're gonna go somewhere, I like to review things.
Okay.
I like to look into what other people have reviewed and see what's out there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, my kids like books a lot. My wife likes books, so then my kids like books and stuff, which is great, right? And my kids don't have many redeeming qualities, but the fact that they're avid readers, okay. But they like to waste money like their mother too, and so they go to Borders and Barnes and Nobles or whatever they're called, and they buy every book.
Yeah.
And so I take my kids out and I'm like, yo, let me show you. There's a place that has all the books for free.
for free.
For free. And then like, so I'll put them onto the library and they're just like amazed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I take them to the library. She takes them to Barnes and Noble.
I love libraries, man.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. Let's see. Jackson says, I love the library. Yes, Jackson. I bet you do too. Mover's best account you could get is a library. Like, God forbid a library like has a water main break.
Yeah.
That's the best account you could ever get. Yeah, library is definitely underrated, especially these days. I mean, so underrated.
Yeah.
So underrated. All right, let's keep it moving here. All right, another point in the win column. Overrated, underrated, handwritten notes.
Handwritten notes. Love a good handwritten note. Very underrated, I would
expect
say.
a handwritten note after this.
You'll get one, man. You'll get one. Yeah, it's something my parents taught me at a young age, much to my dismay when I didn't, just want to go outside and go play or like go play with whatever new toy you got for Christmas. And you got to stop. You got to write down who gave it to you and then write a note. And I didn't get it as a kid, and now I totally get it. I love it. I love it when I meet with people or if someone invites me somewhere. I love sending notes. It's such a personal touch that a lot of people don't do these days. I mean, I think it's coming back a bit, but totally underrated.
People talk about it like I've had several people on this show talk about handwritten notes.
Oh yeah.
Rarely receive a handwritten note. Do you have stationery?
I don't have stationery. I have we have this picture of our house. I do have stationery. I don't know. I do have stationery.
Do you have a card?
I have a card with
Barnett family card.
Exactly, with like my picture of my house printed on the front of it. I think it was a gift from someone, but yeah, with a stamp too that I think we got from our realtor.
A wax stamp?
No, like the old like
property
stamp.
of the Barnett family.
Exactly. Right.
Like for all your books.
Right. Yeah. Right. All the books. Yeah, no, I love handwritten notes. I put that up there with like landlines too, which I don't have a landline, but I like who doesn't like a good landline? Like,
I mean,
although there's tons of fear with it, when that phone rings, you don't know who's on the end of it. You got to pick it up and say hello.
It's rarely who you want it to be.
That's true.
It's more spam than anything, the landline.
Right.
But I feel like a landline's like a bat phone. Like you should have one in your study.
Yeah.
Like in case everything hits the fan, you got a landline. Handwritten notes, yeah, definitely. I need stationery though. This was on my Christmas list.
Oh.
I did not get anything that was on my Christmas list this year.
When's your birthday? Did you publish your
Nobody
Christmas
asked me for my list this year.
When's your birthday?
A little salty.
Put it out there right now.
Yeah, November. Valentine's right around the corner, y'all. I'll put my registry out there. No, but I need some good stationery. I'm also a big fan of like fountain pens.
Okay.
Even though they're a mess.
Yeah.
But like a nice fountain pen with some stationery.
Nice.
I'd get all that and write like one letter.
Yeah.
All right, handwritten notes. Another point for Chris. All right, we're coming down to it. Last one. Overrated, underrated. Remote work.
Remote work, I think it's a bit overrated. I think the appeal of it is so high and it sounds so great. For me, I need to be in the office with my people. I need to interact.
Everybody's drinking and partying.
Right, I was going to say, we saw everyone come in for the happy hour here, but it's a chance to connect. We do a lot of great stuff here, and we love to connect with our people. And as much as I love to have the occasional day at home, I need to be in the office with people, and I love the fact that I run into. There's a lot of people from other offices here today too.
Okay.
I love running into someone else in the halls who I haven't seen in a few months, and then it sparks a conversation, and then all of a sudden you guys are talking about a new thing, and then we're doing something else. Like we're planning for something. So I love being in an office. It doesn't have to be all the time, but love being in an office.
Yeah, there's definitely that serendipitous meeting that happens, and you're just like, we should do this, and just running into people. So I like
even just for your own like emotional well-being and mental wellness.
We talk about wellness a lot, but we underestimate just the human connection.
Right, the water cooler talk.
Yes,
basically, just having that. Hey, how's it going? How's the family?
I think that's huge. I mean, I'm not a big like wellness guy, if you didn't notice, but like that human contact thing.
You need it.
Laughing, shaking hands, pat on the shoulder, sharing lunch or a drink with somebody, or just, I don't know, man. I think that's what we're missing so much as a society these days, man. We just cocoon so much in our own little home, our own little space, and there's a whole world out there. I was just telling my son this. I dragged him out against his will yesterday, and we took him. We had the Martin Luther King Day off yesterday, and I took him all around, and he didn't want to get out. He wanted to sit at home, watch YouTube, play on his iPad. do whatever. Cause we build these incredible, homes with all these video games and all these, immersive experiences and, 70-inch televisions and all this stuff, and
endless distractions.
Yeah, all these distractions. Yeah. And then I pulled them out and we go and we're doing stuff, and the world's an adventure out there waiting to happen, full of people that are so cool.
And what did he think of it?
He was just having a great day.
Yeah.
Had an
Once you're
awesome
out
day.
there, I know.
Yeah.
Touch some grass, just fresh air. It's great.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So I love all these events we do too with NTRP and everything else. It's a great time to go out and meet people while you're still doing work too, but you get to just connect with the same people over and over. And there's such good people in the industry too. It's great. I love the people.
That's what made me fall in love with this business. Like going to these events and everything. I showed it to my first ERC. It was the national one in the spring, and it was in San Antonio. And I showed up to my first one. We set up the booth. We did that deal, and afterwards there was like a cocktail party and down on the river walk or something, and we're wearing sombreros and we're taking pictures, and they had like tequila tastings, and I'm just like, this is work. Like, this is incredible, and then you're meeting people, and all the people that are there are like the best people,
right?
Because they're all these really nice, great personalities, and they're smart, and they're charismatic, and they're globally curious people, and they have all this empathy, and they're just wonderful, cool people. And I'm just like, how does this work?
Yeah.
This is the best. I was like, I can make this a career.
It's so fun connecting with people like that. And you're right. Everybody is so great. And it's so nice to just have a moment to connect. And you're still doing work, but you're seeing a different side of it.
Last time I saw you were line dancing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were at the NTRP breakfast, for the holiday breakfast. There was a reindeer.
In fairness, everyone was line dancing, y'all. It just wasn't Chris got up and decided to do a solo. It was like everybody was doing it.
There was a reindeer there. It was a fun time. We were having a blast. Yeah.
It was.
Line dancing.
Yeah. So anyway, it was interesting.
Maybe we'll do some more of that at the Lone Star Conference.
Yeah, now
Billy
that we know some
Bob's
steps, right? Mm-hmm. Rachel says, Ben, do you still have a landline? I do not have a landline. I do not have a landline, but I was making some calls on Friday from the office, and I did not have good service. And I was like, and then you know what I did? I called people on the FaceTime audio.
Okay.
Which freaks people out a little bit because they get that like FaceTime do.
Yeah.
And they think you're like trying to FaceTime video them, but you're not. You're just trying to like do a good digital call,
right?
Wi-Fi call.
And
then sometimes people
they screen you.
And then
you know where they can't screen you?
Where?
Landline.
On the landline.
On the landline.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I could get a rotary phone too while I'm at it. Ring. This is great, man. Chris, I'm having a great time, man.
Same. Thanks for having me on. This is fantastic.
Yeah, man. Hey, and you know what? 4 for 5 ain't bad. 4 for 5 ain't bad. That'll get you in the hall. This has been a lot of fun, Chris. Thanks so much for having me here. And what a wonderful office you guys have.
Thanks for having me on your podcast too. It's great to be here, and can't wait. What episode was this? 697. We said
697.
I want to be back for the 1,000th one. I'll say it here.
1,000th one.
I'll say it here first.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, seriously. We got to do something for 700. What are we doing for 700, Sharina? Dinner. 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 I don't know. I'm open to ideas. What should we do for the 700th podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I thinking 800 people? All right. Yeah, we did a Love Relo 500 last time, and a bunch of people showed up. A bunch of really, really cool people showed. Jeremy was there.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do something big. Maybe 800. That's what we'll do. 800. Give us some time to plan. Yeah. Anyway, cool, Chris. Thanks so much for your time, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Take care, everybody. See you next time.